All right, welcome back, sports fans, to another episode of the 2315 Sports Show. We're on episode 20, the big 2-0 on this one. And as you can see, we are back to normal. Ethan graced us with his presence again. He had to take a little PTO last week, so I guess we honored that. So
That's right. It's the only week I get, right?
I'm about to say it. We haven't discussed that in our meetings, but PTO's at a limited time here. So no, all good, all good. It all worked out in the end. Not live this week. Kind of through the summer. We probably won't be live much on Fridays, uh, just because that's nice weather days. I know you got a lot of kids in sports, so that's kind of the big kicker there. So we had to kind of switch around. So that's not a big deal. Fridays being off work better on this side too. So um, also got a different kind of setup. We're thinking about going for our next episode and on. We'll kind of talk about that a little more in our next episode next week. But um, I don't know. No big news really. Jokic got his third MVP, I guess.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Do you agree with that? Do you like that or no?
I mean, he's the best player in basketball, so it's hard not to give it to him. But
Mm-hmm.
I understand the voters' fatigue with the same person over and over and over again. But I think he deserves it because you got all the better players, Luca, um, you know Joel Embiid, Giannis. They're all good players, but I think
Mm-hmm.
Jokic is just a step above him. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. You know, I don't love him because he doesn't love basketball, but
Yeah.
I mean, he's good, so he's got to have it.
Yeah. Yeah. He is good. I'm kind of on the fence though, like because Michael back in the day they could have given it to him every year
Yeah,
and they didn't. So I think this year I don't want to say it was a close competition because it probably wasn't. Because I agree he is the best player in basketball. I mean it's probably not close. Um, I, I really liked SGA honestly for
yeah,
this year. Um, he I mean he averaged 30. He was third in the league in scoring. He was tied with the most steals. His assists were up this year. I mean, he plus on a really young team. So I wouldn't have
yeah.
been mad if they would have given it to him either. But understandable. So um, that Jokic got it. Um, and even the video, like I don't know if you saw it, like he wasn't even thrilled. Like
Yeah, he's just like, all right, let's
yeah,
play basketball. Like
yeah. At this point, it's like whatever.
he's
But
he's more worried about his horses in Serbia.
true, true.
So
Which I guess when you're that good and you don't care, I couldn't imagine if you cared and how good you'd be. But
yeah,
um, they're in a little trouble. I mean, that's kind of the segue into our first first segment. We know they got out of the first round, um, but this second round matchup, the Timberwolves are up 2-0 on them, and
yeah,
I like the Timberwolves. I kind of hope they
oh
beat
yeah,
them. So
yeah.
um,
But
it's crazy.
going into Minnesota now for game 3 and 4, that's like
Hmm.
the Nuggets are gonna have to play their best ball. And right
Hmm.
now, they're so good defensively. So Jokic is gonna get his own no matter who's on him, whether it's Cat, Gobert, Nas Reed, whoever, he's still gonna get it because he's the MVP for a reason.
Yep.
But with Jamal Murray, he was like 3 of 18 game 2. But you're throwing Mike Conley, he's on the older side, but he's still, capable all NBA defender.
Yep.
You got Ant, who's one of the best two-way players in basketball right now. Jaden McDaniels, good defender. Like, there's so many good defenders on that team that they're just
Yep.
throwing bodies at them,
Yep.
and it's working. So
Yeah.
going into game 3, Nuggets are going to have to change something up because if not, we may be getting the brooms out.
Yeah. And I wouldn't mind that honestly. I think
Yeah,
the Timberwolves they're impressed. I think they're the best team in the league as of right now. I think that the way Boston's playing right now without Porzingis, I think
yeah,
they beat them. I mean, it won't be a sweep, but I think right now, also the way Jason Tatum's playing, he's kind of playing a little reserved right now, which might be intentional. I
Yeah.
mean, just because they know they can win. Um, but the Timberwolves' best player right now is better than Jason Tatum right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
playing better by
And
far.
and he is. Ant can just get his own whenever over whoever.
Hmm.
And I saw this thing the other day, and it was talking about Tatum and how he's shot poorly from three. He's only like 25% from three so far. But round one, and then so game one of round two, they're throwing 2, 3 bodies at him, double, triple teaming him, collapsing the lane. But he's making all the right reads. He's like second on the team in assists. His turnover rate's down below one a game, I believe. So he's playing great off the ball.
Yes.
So, and with the ball in his hands, making the right decision. So, unless he can, I mean, he's the catalyst. He gets us going. I don't think we can win a championship with Derek White being our best player,
No.
but right now, though, our team's so good and so complete. I don't know if anybody. I'd love to see a Timberwolves Celtics final. Two teams that play defense. That would be the coolest part.
Yes, that would be. Um, I honestly think Anthony Edwards could lock down Jason Tatum the
Oh
way he
yeah,
plays defense. So and again, you're way too deep to like. I mean, they're going to get their own. But right now, I would take the Timberwolves the way Boston's playing. Now, again, the way Boston's playing might be intentional, just because, like you said, they know they're gonna win.
yeah,
So they're kind of on coast mode right now to kind of reserve energy and stuff. So I could get
yeah.
that.
Because they're winning by an average of like 17 and a half
Yeah,
points a game. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not putting your best foot forward every night.
No, no. I mean that covers Boston. We had what do we have? The Knicks beat the 76ers. Um, that one I didn't really care about. I don't really like either team.
Right.
The Knicks kind of going in the second round. They've come out good, but the last game they had some big injuries that might give like an opening. Um, for they're playing the Pacers, aren't they?
Yeah, they're up 2-0 right now.
Right. And then Brunson is questionable for the next game, and then OG is out this next game and possibly the next.
Yeah,
So with having Julius Randle out, so it's kind of getting scary for him. But um, I don't know. I liked Indiana against Milwaukee, but now after last night, it's like game and just interviews, and I'm not. I mean, they're blaming everybody but themselves. And to me, you don't do that in the playoffs. It's on you. Like, figure it out.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but they're going back home, so I mean, I don't think it'll be a sweep. I think they get this next game just from the injuries itself. So we'll
yeah.
see though.
It'll be good to see. I mean, I don't want to call the Pacers frauds because I don't think they
No.
are, but they're not true contenders. I don't believe. Um,
Mm-mm.
so even if they find a way to beat the Knicks, they're not getting past Boston. I mean, if for some reason Boston loses, um, you maybe, but I loved what Josh Hart said the other day. He said, if OG can't play, he's like, I'm not coming out of the effing game. He's like, 48 minutes, sign me up. So,
Yeah.
like, they're battle tested. They got a bunch of dogs on that team. So him and DiVincenzo, they're
Yep.
just they're out there. So I think it'd probably go 5, maybe
Yeah.
6 games, but probably 5. So it'll be cool. It'll be good to see. I like seeing teams like the Knicks, get back to relevance.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, they have a hard nosed coach. I mean, we used to have him at the Bulls, and
Yeah.
he plays defense and he's physical. So it's getting back to like true basketball, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's nice to see.
Yes. I knew Milwaukee wasn't going to do it. They, uh, I don't know. Their coach. I think they made the wrong move. Doc Rivers hasn't been anything since he's been with Boston. Like,
Yeah, in
he's
2008, we're
right.
16 years removed from relevance again.
Yeah. So I mean, he has a terrible playoff record, and so I think they made the wrong move. So they deserve not to move forward because I don't know. And Middleton cannot carry. So I think they should have got rid of him a long time ago. But so well, Cleveland's in, which they had a Game 7 win over Orlando. So now they're playing Boston, obviously. Boston's up 1-0. I think that's going to be a quick one. That one might be a sweep, to be honest. But
yeah.
So now we're back in the West, right? We got Dallas and OKC. This is an intriguing matchup, guard play wise for sure. But I like OKC. I mean, they really impressed, in my opinion. Their first series, as being as young as they are, with a young coach as well. So I'm taking OKC probably to the finals against the Timberwolves.
Yeah,
which would be good to see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, two young teams battling. Yep. It's good, and I like OKC. I'm a huge fan of SGA. Even going back to the Kentucky days. But I like Lou Dort, Giddey. They're all, I'm not a huge fan of Chet, but he's good. He's really good. And then J-Dub, they've got a lot of dogs on that team as well. So, but the Mavs have a little more experience. You've got Kyrie, been to a finals, won a finals. Luka's been to a Western Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. I like the Thunder. I think they're 1 year away. So I think the Mavs are going to find a way to win the series. Luka's he had a rough game one, but we're recording on Thursday, so their game 2's tonight. So I'd like to see a bounce back game from him or a huge game from Kyrie, one of the two. And I like him to win tonight, and then probably advance throughout the series, and get to the T-Wolves.
Okay, all right. So that's it, right? That's all that's in the playoffs now. So I mean, next week we'll kind of hit a little more on the round 2s for sure, but biggest surprise for me so far is Anthony Edwards, of how good he is. Like that, I mean, they're a Western Conference team, so we don't see them a lot on TV, even though they're in Minnesota on the East. But so I wasn't really paying attention. I mean, he had game, obviously, but
he's elevated.
He's elevated. His attitude. If Jason Tatum had his attitude, Jason, I mean, they'd be unstoppable. But Jason don't have to be that guy. Like, he don't have to be the loud, and I mean, that's just not their team. So but I like him. It was a very, very nice, very nice.
Just a quick thing about Ant too that I seen the other day. He was doing an interview on a podcast, I think, or something, and he was talking about his pre-draft process, and he was did a workout with Steve Kerr and the Warriors, and he was like, Kerr looked at him and he was like, if we had the first round pick or the first overall pick, we wouldn't pick you. And he kind of looked at him. He's like, what do you mean? And he's like, you don't work hard enough. He's like, you're not doing enough. And he's like, man, I'm out here sweating, busting my ass, doing everything I need to do. And he's like, and he says, I'm not doing enough. And he's like, what else do I need to do? And he's like, you should see Steph, KD, those guys work out. And he's like, you're not even close. And so he's like, I'm at dinner with my trainer, and he's like, we get back in the car, and he's like, all right, we got to crank this up a notch. And he said, I ain't slowed down since. So that kind of mentality, it's
Yeah.
special and it's rare, but it's awesome to see for a guy, especially Ant, because he's cocky, but he's humble enough.
Hmm.
So like, but he's cocky enough to really, be able to tell somebody he's gonna put their foot on their throat and stomp
Yeah.
it. So it's I like that killer mentality. So it'd be cool to see Jason Tatum have that, like you said, but it's not any.
No. No. It's a rarity to see in the young NBA players anyway. Like
Yeah,
there's not any that really have it but him. Like
yep.
he's it. So, which is good. Like I mean, the NBA needs it. It needs to come back. Cuz it's kind of stale. I mean, even this NBA playoffs it's been like eh,
Kind of predictable.
right. And besides them, I mean, you knew they were good cuz they were the second seed or whatever, but
I didn't even have them
not
getting out of the
the
first
third
round,
seed,
so
whatever
they
they
blew
were.
my mind a little bit.
So they're impressive. I like them. And a young coach, young team, just good. So that's it. I mean, basketball's it's kind of hard to keep going when we're right in the middle of it, but it's getting down there though. I mean,
Yeah.
we're close to the finals, the conference finals. So should be interesting. Should be an interesting go about it. So just like every other sports show you see, we're gonna flip the script a little bit. We're gonna go to baseball, and we're gonna do the way too early awards predictions. Now we're not doing all of them because they're like even I was looking and some of them I didn't even know was an award, to be honest. Um, and I'm a baseball follower, and I didn't have a clue on some of them. So we're gonna do NL and AL MVP, NL AL Cy Youngs, and then NL AL Rookie of the Years. Um, so starting right out, actually, it's been a pretty decent start of the season. Actually, for both our teams. Actually, I think both are kind of surprising right now.
We're about 500.
I'm about to say that's all you can ask for. First month of the season, month and a week.
Let's roll.
Especially when you guys keep trading away all your talent in a
Yeah.
way. But you keep reloading. I mean, there's some good guys coming up, and you keep one that endeavors that you need to keep, hopefully. So,
Yeah.
um, so starting right off, um, my NL MVP is going to be Ronald Acuna Jr.
Okay.
Again, he's. I did that kind of blind um, thing on our TikTok, and I I kind of got called out for it, but like it was blind, so you don't know you're going to get these players,
Yeah.
obviously. So you got to put them in the places where you should. So I think the second player I got is Shohei. Well, and I said it. Unfortunately, I have to put him at number one. And then later on, luckily, I got Acuna Jr. And I put him at two. Um, if I would have got Acuna Jr. first, I probably would have put him first because I do think he's the best player in baseball. He hits and plays the field. Shohei, the only reason I say unfortunately, just because of this year, is Shohei is a DH this year. That's
Yep.
all he is. Like I cannot give the best player in baseball to a DH that only hits. To me, that's just not right. So my NL MVP is Ronald Acuna Jr. again for the Atlanta Braves.
Okay. Well, just for that too, only three players have ever won MVP. I just had to look this up real quick. Three players won MVP while being a DH. 2004 Big Poppy, 2012 Delman Young, and
Hmm?
2021 Jordan Alvarez.
Alvarez.
So
Yeah.
only
Which
three.
so and again a little context of those early ones, the NL didn't have a DH.
Yeah.
So they were always going to come. So that's impressive for an DH or a position of one league to win an MVP back when it was a one league kind of player. Like
Yeah.
that's very interesting. So
Yeah. And that was the year Poppy had his breakout year,
yeah,
and he went bananas. So,
that makes
but
sense.
yeah. So I thought that was cool. I had to look that
It
up when
is.
you talked about that real quick. So,
That
but
is all in the 2000s, all in the recents, pretty
yeah.
much, which is obvious.
So for my NL MVP, I had a tough time. There was two people that I wanted to pick
Of
between.
course you did.
Um, One was Fernando Tatis.
Oh,
I love Tatis, and I'm
okay.
like, be cool, come back from the suspension and just,
Yeah,
you know,
juicing.
juicing it up. And then it was like Mookie Betts. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's, I was kind of, he wasn't my pick before the season started because I kind of made a list before the season. But like as the season goes on, like it's got to be Mookie, right? But I'm just gonna kick it back to my first pick before the season, Bryce Harper MVP.
Oh, he's
So
having a good. He started off a little rough, but he's
yeah,
picking it up.
I'd like to see him turn it on. I don't, my heart says Bryce, but my head says Mookie. So, but I'm gonna go
Yep.
Bryce Harper.
Mine was between Mookie and Acuna, but I think Mookie's a hell of a player. I mean,
Yeah,
he's probably second best right now in the league, honestly.
yeah.
Um, and it's amazing at his, size really isn't a big thing in baseball, but at his size that he's hitting for power is
He's a little
impressive.
man. Yeah,
Yeah. And now he's back. I think he's back in the infield, isn't he?
yeah. Second base.
Yeah, which I like that better. I mean, he's very good in the outfield too.
Yeah,
But
he can do it all.
yep. Um, so moving to the other AL MVP. This one, so the AL is, I mean, they're both equally stacked when it comes to like the top upper echelon of players. So this one I don't think is going to be a common pick. I mean, it might be in the betting world, but um, I'm going to go Juan Soto for the Yankees
Okay.
because just with that lineup, you got to pitch to him, and he, and I take back my comment. I think he's second best in the league,
Okay.
um, because he's I don't know, he's just super talented. He's a great
Yeah.
hitter. He is a hell of a fielder and has a hell of an arm. Um, and he pretty well stays healthy all year, and he has enough swag to him that he he kind of gets under your skin, like you hate him, but you got to love him at the same time because he makes baseball fun. So I'm going
Yeah.
Juan Soto.
And that fence at
Yes.
Yankee Stadium gives him a little
Yes.
boost there. So, but I like the pick. I like the pick. Um, I'm gonna stay in the AL East as well.
Ooh,
Kind of pains me a little bit,
I bet
but
it does.
I'm going. I may butcher his last name, but Addy Rutschman.
Oh, Rutschman? Yeah. For
Yeah,
Baltimore?
I'm gonna go Addy Rutschman to win MVP.
Okay. I like
First of
that.
many.
First of many. I like that. I like the Baltimore team. I love Baltimore. Um,
They're young and they're talented.
young, super talented, new ownership with a legend that played for them in the ownership. So
Yeah.
I like
If
the way they
Jackson
are.
Holiday gets it together.
Yeah. I like the way I like the way they're building it there. I like Baltimore a lot.
Yeah.
Um, so I like that pick. That's a good pick and a catcher.
It's
That's
different.
solid. That is different. I like it. Um, all right, now to my favorite position in baseball, the pitching. Um, this one I had a tough time with both of them, but the NL Cy Young. If I was doing it today, in other words, um, I'm going with my dude from the Cubs, Shota Imanaga. He's gonna win one.
Cy
First
Young.
year in the league, Cy Young.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
nasty.
That's
Nasty. And I just like the way he is. He's an awesome dude. Like some of his interviews are hilarious. So
Yeah. Well,
I'm going with him. Might be the first time ever rookie that
hon-
gets the Cy Young.
honestly, I was thinking you were going to pick Justin Steele, but he hasn't pitched
Well,
a whole lot,
right.
has he?
No, he got
So,
hurt. So he would
yeah,
have been my dude. If he would have been healthy, yes, 100%. But
yeah,
Shota's filled the void a little bit, which has been nice.
yeah. So, with mine, kind of just going from the same well over and over again, which is, maybe a little old, but I'm gonna go Zach Wheeler. He's had a rough start, like 4-3 on the year so far, but I think he'll get it together. I hope, because I like the Phillies a little bit. So Bryce Harper's my favorite player. So,
Yeah.
but I like Zach Wheeler. I think he was actually like the betting favorite coming into the year.
I think he
So
was. Yeah.
I'm not, I'm not you. I'm not a baseball
Sure.
guru. So I just kind of gotta go with the betting favorite sometimes. But
Well,
Zach
yeah.
Wheeler, gotta go
Yeah.
with him.
Mine's a heart favorite. I mean, I'm not. It's a very unlikely. Like,
Hey, you never know.
but I don't know if it's ever happened. To tell you the truth, a rookie Cy Young.
Maybe your
I
stats
would
guy.
almost doubt it, but he could be the first. He's awesome. Like, if I could pay, because just to let you know, baseball jerseys right now are like $180.
Huh?
Up to yeah. So if I could pay $180, I'd probably get his jersey because he's awesome. He's an awesome dude. Obviously, can't understand a word he says, but from the interpretations, um, he's just funny. He seems like he has a good head on his shoulders. So I like it.
So there's one guy that ever win Rookie of the Year and Cy Young, Fernando Valenzuela in
Oh yeah.
1981 for the Dodgers,
Okay. He was a big pitch. I mean, he was good. So
and
hmm.
he won a Silver Slugger.
Yeah. See, when pitchers used to bat, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so my AL Cy Young, I'm actually going into your well, the Baltimore Orioles, and I'm going Corbin Burns, mainly because we used to play him a lot because he was at
Yeah.
Milwaukee, and he hasn't lost anything. And in that ballpark there, I think is a very pitcher friendly ballpark. I don't know. I'm not very familiar with their ballpark, but I don't know. I like Corbin Burns for the Cy Young this
Okay.
year. AL Cy
And
Young.
yeah. And for my AL Cy Young is Corbin Burns. I
Mm-hmm.
got MVP and Cy Young from the same team on both sides.
Well, they better both make it to the World Series.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
I
Very
didn't. Honestly, I know Corbin Burns is a stud out there.
yes.
Other than that, I don't really know. I know there's a couple of good pitchers on like the Mariners. That Kirby kid's pretty good.
Yep.
I don't really think he's a kid, but Verlander's still out there, but he's old. So,
Yep.
uh,
Yeah, I wanted Burns just because I don't know. I mean, Garrett Cole's out there too, who's a stud. But I already picked one Yankee, and that about broke my heart, so I wasn't
he's a
picking
bum.
another one. So, um, so yeah, those are good. Those are two good picks by you. I like that.
Thank you.
Um,
Maybe I'll be the baseball guru from now on.
maybe you never know. If it happens, you definitely are,
Yeah,
because that'd be wild.
I just love.
Um, NL Rookie of the Year, obviously, if he's winning the Cy Young, he's winning the Rookie of the Year too. So that's my dude Shota Imanaga again.
All right, nice.
Now, the only other one that, and this is Thursday, and he starts his MLB career Saturday. I just don't know if he'll be eligible, and I looked it up and it didn't really tell me. But my honorable mention for this one is Paul Skeens.
Okay.
That's my dude. I'm all on Paul Skeens. I'm jealous Pittsburgh got him because he's it. He's the real deal.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's eligible just because I don't know. I don't know if he'll get enough innings. So
He's 6 in in
Okay, so he
odds
might.
right now. Yeah.
Um, Still going with my guy Shota. I mean, he's my guy, but I do like Paul Skeens in that realm too. So
Hey, there you go. That's so when I wasn't real sure, I was kind of looking at it the other day, and well, I don't know why I said the other day today because you told me you were doing rookie of the year, and I was like, ooh. So I was gonna just say Yamamoto,
yep,
just to go with that, but I think I'm just gonna stick with you, and I'm gonna go Shota.
you should.
Just
He's the guy.
I've watched a few of his outings. He's
Yeah,
pretty darn good. So
he's
I
nasty.
like Shota, and that's what we're gonna go with. We're sticking to it.
And how do you not like a name Shota?
It's pretty
Like,
cool.
yes. Um, AL Rookie of the Year. I'm going with Wyatt Langford from the Rangers. Um, he technically came up last year a little bit. Um,
Okay.
I think he was a September call up, which obviously doesn't count for his rookie year, and he made the roster, opening day roster, and he lit it up in the beginning. He's kind of cooled off a little bit, but he's he's really good. Um, I think he played for Florida, and he was really good there too. So,
Yeah.
so that's who I'm going with the AL Rookie of the Year.
All right. So I'm gonna take my heart pick on this one,
Is it an
and
Oriole?
no, it's not an
Okay,
Oriole,
okay.
not Jackson Holiday. He's not. He can't do it for me.
No.
We're gonna go Red Sox on this one.
Oh,
Center fielder, Rafael Cedeno.
yeah. He's had a
So
good start.
I like him. Our outfield's pretty good. So
Yep.
I think him and Jaron Duran are the anchors out there. So, but I do like him, and I think he's like sixth or seventh in odds. But two I'm going with.
Yeah, and it only gets warmer out in Boston and
That's
Chicago,
right.
so that's a benefit for sure. So I like those. I like the way too early predictions. Those are pretty good.
About the All
Um,
Star break, we'll have to check back in, see how our predictions are looking.
yeah, did you write them down?
No.
I got it. I got them wrote down. So, or I got mine wrote down. You got
Oh,
yours wrote
I
down.
got mine.
So
Yeah.
we can
Good enough.
we can keep them in a way. So, yeah, good. I like it. Sticking with our baseball trend, we're gonna kind of end the show with a little fun segment here. Um, we have a Mount Rushmore segment, and we're doing it for baseball just because it's middle of baseball season. We could have done basketball too. I didn't think of that. Maybe we could do that next week. Um, or maybe finals week. Maybe we'll do it the NBA finals.
Okay.
That would be fine. Give it a little space in between. So now in this one, full disclosure, if no one's watching, the YouTube, it's going to be our generation of Mount Rushmore. So people we remember at least, because obviously Mount Rushmores are very controversial and opinionated, and I
Yeah.
don't know about you, but I never saw Babe Ruth play, so I don't know if he's the greatest or not. Obviously,
Playing
everyone says
against
he
guys
is.
who are a plumber, you're
Exactly,
a baseball player at night.
exactly. So we decided to do our generation. We're gonna do our generation Mount Rushmore of pitchers, and then just position or hitters, players. We're gonna separate them out. So when we were first doing this, I felt really dumb. Like I second guessed myself on Mount Rushmore of how many are on Mount Rushmore. I was like, "There's 4, right?" Like I'm pretty sure there is, and so I did Google it just to let you know to make sure I was right. I had a brain moment there. So,
That's all right.
um,
I'm glad you got it together though.
so for everyone listening, Mount Rushmore does have 4 presidents on there. So, in case that's news flash to anybody. Um, so we'll start with pitchers. We'll start you first. Well, who's your, no, like, I'm not going to say like my first one is number one. Actually, mine probably is, but you
Yeah.
don't have to do that. It's just top 4 of our generation.
Okay. And that's as I was thinking about it, I tried to. People are always like, "Oh, the steroid era, whatever." Like, do I put that into effect? Like, does it change my opinion on people? But it really doesn't. So I
Nope.
was like, I'm going with who I like. So four pitchers. Number one, probably my favorite, or not my favorite pitcher, but the guy who's at the top of my list is Roger Clemens.
Oh, okay.
I think he's probably one of the best, to play this era. So
Yes.
um, Clemens, Randy Johnson is number two.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Maddux is number three.
Oh,
Um, Let me see here because I already forgot who I had on the list here. Oh, and number four, Pedro Martinez.
wow. So,
Got some flamethrowers on there.
yes. And I like the picks because 3 out of my 4 are those same people. So,
I had a hard time not putting Justin Verlander on there. I wanted to so bad.
I agree. And
And I
he
should
has
have.
been the best pitcher since like the 2000s. I
He's
mean,
probably 5 on my list.
I can't put him in because he's a cheater. Even though Roger Clemens, I think he
He's
had
a
some
cheater too.
problems too. But
Yeah.
I just don't like the way he cheated. I don't like steroids. I can handle, like, because there was a whole era about it. But manipulating the game the way they did, I can't handle that. Unfortunately,
Fair enough.
I don't know. That's just me. Cheating is cheating. Like it's both bad. Like I'm not saying I condone either one, but
Yeah.
I will take the steroid era over the Houston Astro era for sure, and I'll defend that all the way through. So my number one is Randy Johnson. That's probably one of my favorite pitchers of all time. That dude was 6'10" and a lefty, and he obliterated a bird. Like, there is no argument. Like, who else did that?
Throwing gas out there.
Yes. My second. So mine are probably in order. Actually, no, they're not. Mine are somewhat in order. I'll put them in order. My second is Pedro Martinez. He was probably one of my top favorite pitchers too. He had a hell of a changeup. So I modeled my changeup after his. So it wasn't as nasty, but I liked him a lot. My third is John Lester.
Okay.
Probably not a common pick. Like stats wise, he's fine. Just how do you not put this dude on there? He beat cancer, first off.
Yep.
We'll start that off. And then he beat 2 of the biggest MLB curses of all time.
Yeah.
And won a championship for both. So 2 with the 1, I think, and 1 with the Cubs.
Yeah.
So he's my guy. Loved him at the Cubs. Loved him at the Red Sox. And then my last would have been Roger Clemens. Dominant. Very dominant. But yeah, that was interesting that the 3 matched up like that.
Yeah, I liked Kurt Schilling a lot. I almost put him in there, but from what I can remember of Greg Maddux, he was almost untouchable. So I was like, I don't, he was finishing up when I really started getting into baseball because I think his last, he was like 99 or 2000 or something. Yeah. And I was 8 or 9 years old at that point. So it was just, I was like, I've got to put him in, whether I've, truly watched him a whole lot or just a little bit. I had to slide him in there.
Oh yeah, I like the Greg Maddux pick. I almost put him in there, but I don't know. I like Lester more just because he resonated with me more.
Hey, that's fair.
My 5th probably would have been Kerry Wood for the Cubs.
I was thinking Kerry Wood for you would have been. I was like, who's a big Cubs guy? And I was like, Kerry Wood. Like, he's probably gonna put him in there.
I couldn't. Not over the guys that I put in there. So
fair enough.
I mean, he was good. I liked him, but he never won. So I mean,
didn't he have like a really good curveball?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I couldn't remember what that pitch was that he was. This curveball that he was known for.
Yeah, he was pretty nasty. He was nasty all over the place, but injuries kind of plagued him too quite a bit. So that's a good list. I like that. We didn't even talk about it in like nothing, and we went kind of 3 for 3 there. When you were saying, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like
This is my list.
Yeah, this is my baseball. This is mine, not his. So we might differ on position players. I bet two of them make both of our lists, but maybe three. But I don't know. We might be in the same boat.
Be wild.
So who do you have as position / hitters players,
All right.
non-pitchers?
A guy that I really didn't want to put in, but how do you not put him in, is Barry Bonds.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You know, he wasn't. There's so many good hitters, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, guy that crossed my mind a couple of times, but I was like, absolutely not. I will never, ever, ever put him in a list. Is Derek Jeter.
Mm.
So I was like, no chance. Same with
Mm.
Alex Rodriguez.
Mm.
He was a Red Sox, but I was like, I don't know if I can put him in. But I went back on what I said, and Alex Rodriguez is in my Mount Rushmore.
Oh,
So far, Barry Bonds and A-Rod.
okay.
But then I kind of went a little like for me, I
Yeah,
guess. And Big Poppy's on my list.
as he should be. He's generational. I'd
I like
accept that.
him. He's my guy. It was,
Mm-hmm.
and I would love to put Manny Ramirez on there too.
Yeah.
And then the guy that I didn't play a whole lot of baseball, but the guy that I modeled my game after that I wanted to try to because I'm not good at baseball,
Because
but
every kid.
was the kid
Yep.
Griffey. So
Every kid wanted to model his game after him.
so I remember the first
Of the
year
90s.
Yeah, the first year I signed up for travel ball, they were like, "Well, what number you want to be?" And it's when he was on the Reds. I was like, "I want to be number 3," and because he switched from 24 to 3 to 30, and they were like, "Well,
Yep.
3's taken." I was like, "Give me 24." So I wore number 24 for a few weeks, and that was it. That was the end of my travel baseball career. 3 weeks.
There you go.
But so yeah,
You wore it well.
I did. So Barry Bonds, A-Rod, Griffey, and Big Poppy.
All right.
Probably
All
in
right.
that order too.
I like that. I like that. So we got two out of the 4 on my list.
Pretty good.
So my one of our era is probably Ken Griffey Jr. His swag, his swing is damn near perfect. It's probably the sweetest swing baseball's ever seen, and he played a hell of an outfield too.
Yeah.
Then the order doesn't matter to me. He's number 1 for me just because he resonates more. But the rest of my list is not in order. I do have Barry Bonds on there. I did list him second, so if we want to go that route, that's fine. I probably wouldn't put him second, but I have Derek Jeter on there because he is probably the greatest shortstop to ever play the game. Unfortunately, with the Yankees, but he is. So I'd put him second, Barry Bonds third. And as much as I hated to put this guy on here because he killed the Cubs, Albert Pujols.
Ooh.
Probably one of the best hitters that we've ever seen in our generation. So all-around hitter, not just power. So that was my list. So I had Ken Griffey, Derek Jeter, Barry Bonds, and Albert Pujols.
Nice.
A-Rod, he was my favorite third baseman growing up, but I couldn't put him ahead of Albert just because Albert was a stud. And we saw A-Rod a lot, but again, do you take the steroid stuff in there? I mean, I put Barry Bonds in. I don't know, but I do like it. Alex probably would have been my 5th. He's not my Mount Rushmore, but he's 5th. And I didn't want to again put 2 Yankees on there at the same time. That would piss me off.
Yeah.
So I like those. I think our generation that'll be a consensus. I think Ken Griffey's a definite consensus of our generation.
Yeah.
Barry probably is too. And then it's kind of a up in the air. And then probably Derek, honestly. Big Poppy could be on there too. I don't know. But yeah, we weren't going back because I don't know. Like my dad would say probably way different. I don't know though. He'd have Derek Jeter on there for
Yeah.
sure.
Next time you see him, you need to
I'll ask him. I can ask.
ask him. I need to know what his list is because
I'd guarantee Derek Jeter's on there.
I think he put
Barry,
Sosa on there.
no, he won't put Barry Bonds on there either.
Oh yeah,
Um,
he's big strict by the rules.
uh, he does believe he should be in the Hall of Fame. But he also, I mean, he believes Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame too, which we all agree
Facts.
with. So, I don't know who he'd pick. It'd be an interesting take. Probably, I'll have to ask him. So,
Yeah.
that was good. I liked it. We'll check in with our award season kind of mid-year, and then yeah, I like our Mount Rushmores. It's not bad lists here. I like my pitchers more than my hitters, but I
Yeah.
pitched, so that was my thing. So with that, I got nothing, and actually we can do the outro correctly because I didn't even try when you weren't
You
here.
didn't have it nailed down.
No, I didn't even try, and I said that right in the show. So why don't you hit him with the outro?
All right. Well, we just want to thank everybody for tuning in, however and wherever you may be listening. If you like the content you're receiving, follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Pod. See you next week. Peace.